Bonjour, good morning. Today we'll take up the future tense. The future tense is formed to the full verb, that is the stem and the root put together. That is the full verb. So to the full verb, except in cases of RE verbs where you will drop the final E and then you will add these following endings. Now what are the endings of the future? The endings of the future are AI, AS, A, ONS, EZ and ONT. So to the full verb, if you add these endings, you will get the future tense. Now I've given you a few examples of regular verbs. The first verb I've taken is donner. That itself is the full verb and that means to give. So if you observe the black letters pertain to the full verb and the red alphabets will pertain to the endings of the future. So after je, you add the full verb, donner, D-O-N-N-E-R. And then if you add AI to that, you will get the future tense. So je donnerai. This is the future tense for all regular verbs. Now for ER verbs and IR verbs, you have to add the full verb to this ending. So je donnerai, tu donneras, il ou elle donnera, nous donnerons, vous donnerez, and il ou elle donneront. The same thing will apply to finir, to the full verb. If you add the future endings, you will get the future tense. But for these RE verbs, the final E will have to be omitted. If you look at the verb vendre, which means to sell, the final E I have omitted and then I have added the endings. So VENDRAI. AI is the ending. All the other alphabets in black is the stem of the future. So VENDR plus AI will give you the future tense for the verb vendre with je. And then you can have a look at all the other subject pronouns. This is how the future tense is formed for all regular verbs. As far as irregular verbs are concerned, I've given you a whole list which you would have to learn by heart. I think you can see the whole list on the screen and you will have to by heart these verbs. So we start with the verb avoir, naître, our famous irregular verbs. Always they are irregular. So avoir, the future for avoir is aurai, j'aurai, J apostrophe A-U-R-A-I. And for être is je serai. For aller, j'irai. For faire, je ferai. For pouvoir, je pourrai. And it goes on, the entire list. You can see the entire list on the screen. Now, where the verb is conjugated with je, that is with the first person singular, it can be conjugated with all the persons. That is je, tu, il, elle, nous, vous, il, elle. According to the person, you add the ending. But where the verb is conjugated with only il, like these last two verbs, pleuvoir and falloir, then they can be conjugated only with il, because you cannot say I will rain, you can only say it will rain. And you cannot say I will be necessary, you can only say it will be necessary. So il pleuvra and il faudra. But where the verb is conjugated with je, as in all these other cases, then you can conjugate them with all the other subject pronouns. Now for avoir, for je it is A-U-R-A-I. If I change je to tu, that is the subject pronoun, tu, then I will have A-U-R-A-S, which is the ending. So A-U-R will be permanent. The ones which are in black, the alphabets which are written in black are permanent. The endings will change according to the subject pronoun which you put in. So this is how the future tense is formed for irregular verbs. Now, let us go into the last segment of the future tense, that is, where is the future tense used? So, first of all, the future must be used as in English to express future time or future tense. But it is not only used when it is asked, but it is also used after indicators such as demain, which means tomorrow, après-demain, which means the day after tomorrow, le lendemain, which means the next day, l'année prochaine, which means the next year, le mois prochain, which means the next month, la semaine prochaine, which means the next week. So after all these words also, it means the future is indicated. So you have to use the future tense. Now the future tense will also be used after conjunctions of time such as con, loska, ozitoka, deka and tantka. These 5 conjunctions of time you will have to learn. They are known as conjunctions of time. Con and loska mean when, ozitoka and deka will mean as soon as, and tantka will mean as long as. So after all these words, if you are asked to use the correct tense, you have to use only the future tense. I hope you would have understood the future tense with this explanation. Merci.